I mean, there's big news, there's big news, and probably the big news. I'm giving credit where it's due.
Yes.
The big news that we're all waking up to this morning is that Arsenal are Premier League champions, I beg your pardon, and congratulations to them. Manchester City's draw with Bournemouth last night secured a first title for the Gunners in 22 years. Brilliant, lads.
Yep.
Many congratulations to all the Arsenal team, staff, players, fans alike. It's been some season and you deserve it. Gabby, what do you think?
Well, I think Arsenal were the best team this season. Got to say congratulations. I look at Pep Guardiola leaving. The pressure that's going to be on Maresca is going to be so intense. I look at Liverpool having problems. Arsenal could dominate for years to come out. So? For the next couple of years, they really could. Really? Because I look at like all the teams that are chasing them. Pep Guardiola leaving. Yeah. We saw what happens when Alex Ferguson left. Sir Alex Ferguson. I know Pep Guardiola will leave a top squad for Maresca, but I just think this Arsenal team getting that first one, Ali. Yeah. They'll be hungry again. Can we dominate this era before the Chelseas get better, the Villas get better, the Spurs get better if they stay up, the Manchester United will get better, Liverpool get better, they replace Salah. So Manchester City, like I said, the pressure on Maresca is going to be immense next season.
And amazing though, Gab, you think about it, I think this is why it is the best league. I know we can argue about, PSG, Bayern Munich, quality and all that stuff, but I definitely think it's the best league. You look towards the end of that campaign, and you could actually predict tough games for City at Everton, at Bournemouth, and that's the way it turned out.
I called it. After the Everton game, I says, Arsenal can afford to drop more points. Bournemouth were fighting for Champions League football, still are, by the way. But they need Villa to finish 5th. They need Liverpool to finish 4th, which can happen if Villa lose and Liverpool beat Brentford. But I knew Iriola's last home game, in front of his fans, Bournemouth are never going to take it easy. They've got a lot to play for, top team as well. But you have to give Arsenal credit. Listen, it's not been a great Premier League season. It really hasn't. No. But they've done the job. Yeah. What needed to be done, they've done, Ali, and you've got to congratulate them.
I think so. Yes. I think there's no doubt about that. And the streets of North London have been partying through the night. Cars have been beeping their horns, the usual drill. After the draw at the Vitality, Pep was inevitably asked about the title, and he offered congratulations, as he should do, to Arsenal.
First of all, congratulate Mikel, staff, Acromas staff, the players, Arsenal, for this Premier League, well deserved. And today the fatigue was part in the game. The fatigue always is the brilliant that we need the players in the final third and many things. Today the fatigue from Crystal Palace and Brentford, and especially the final, come back here. So they have 12 days. The team is extraordinary, well managed, and physicality, dynamic, good. So we cannot do that. And but we play against many things we're going to control. We didn't give up. We continue in the toughest periods in the season, and at the end, it's always it's a pity that we cannot bring the chance, the hopes until the last time, until the last, I would say, game against Aston Villa. But accept the reality. Congratulate Arsenal.
Tell you what, Gab, I mean, is it one of these situations we probably won't really appreciate what he's achieved since maybe 4 or 5 years down the line, because he has been remarkable, hasn't he?
I think he must have been such a tough decision to make, to leave, because you look at the new players he brought in as well. You look at someone like Haaland, will be so upset that the legends of Manchester City he's leaving, but what a job he's done. Listen, it's hard to choose, isn't it, Ali, because there's so much respect for Sir Alex Ferguson, what he did, but Pep Guardiola, he's definitely up there.
Certainly comes around the equation, doesn't he? The one Arsenal fan who joined the sports bar to celebrate the win had his say on where Arteta ranks in the greatest ever Premier League managers.
I've been really thinking about it after yesterday's news and today's result. And when you think of the greatest managers of all time, you think Fergie, you think Wenger, you think Pep. But what Arteta has done, he's inherited a club in shambles, and he's turned us into the biggest club in the world. And most of all, he hasn't done this with like a blank checkbook like Pep has. He's done it with a shoestring budget.
Julian,
all right?
Shut up, mate. What on earth are you going on about?
Julian's on the wind-up.
He's made Pep retire. Julian, shut up. Like, come on, mate.
Mate.
You don't come in here and start talking about greatest Premier League managers ever.
he's not said that.
And don't even
He's not
mention
said that.
Arteta.
He's not said
Don't
that.
tell me that you've done it on a shoestring budget. You bought Declan Rice for £100 million.
Hold on, he's not said that.
First off, football is more than just numbers.
All right,
okay?
you
It's
spent
a
nearly
beautiful
£1 billion
game.
quid, right? You spent nearly £1 billion quid to be successful, and that's fine.
He's made Pep retire.
those-
Pep has run away with his tail between his legs because he knows he can't keep up with the new English football pioneered by Arteta.
I think Julian might be the wind up a wee bit there.
Of course.
Ted, there's no getting away from the job Arteta's done, though.
Yeah. Listen.
Well, here's a question for
Yes.
you. Right? Was the pressure on him so intense to win it this year? Do you think he might not have kept his job? I don't actually, to be honest with you.
I think there would have been pressure on him, but I think they still would have kept him in a job because Champions League final, going close again to the Premier League. But I look at it, fantastic achievement, and Arsenal fans will say, "Oh, here he goes again." But Ali, they have spent £1 billion, and I know Chelsea have, and I know maybe Man City have, other teams, Liverpool, wherever it is, but they have trophies to show it. Finally, Arsenal have a trophy for the money they've spent. They should be winning Premier Leagues. They should be winning Champions Leagues with the amount of money they spent. It's a fantastic achievement. I get it. It's not been the best Premier League that we've watched in the last 10 years, but Arsenal, with the squad of players that they've got, Piers Morgan is going to come on and say, again, the best squad he's ever seen for 25 players. They should be winning the Premier League.
City fans won't agree, but is there something refreshing about it to have somebody different? City, Liverpool, and
You want different teams, of course. I've got a question for you, Ali. Do you think the news coming out from Pep, did that play a part for last night's game?
It's a great question. It's a great question.
Why did it get leaked so close to the end of the
that's
season?
the problem. Once it gets leaked, you've got to address it. It's a kind of catch-22 situation, I think. And I had a similar situation when Walter was leaving Rangers, Gab.
Yeah.
What I think, there has to be dialogue, obviously, between owners, chairman, director, board, and all that stuff, and the coach to plan ahead.
Yeah,
I get that, but once it gets out, does it affect it? It might affect one or two in the dressing room.
Yeah, just to know that the manager's going and you.
I know. It's a heck of a different one. But it's funny because I sat down during the season with Arteta. I had a good chat with him, sat down for about maybe half an hour, 40 minutes. And I can believe how relaxed he was, Gabby.
Yes.
He was great. You see the guy in the touchline who looks really intense. But the one I sat down with was really relaxed and happy in his own skin.
I think as well, us, Ali, that we speak on here, pundits will say, Arsenal haven't played this football, they haven't played that football. I think every Arsenal fan won't care.
Yeah.
Arsenal Football Club won't care. Arteta won't care. He's won the Premier League his
I don't
way.
think they should.
He's won it his way, hasn't he? Some games he's been defensive and he's got players behind the ball and he hasn't attacked as much as we would like to see. But Mourinho done that for years.
Of course he did.
So he's found a way to win the Premier League. And then I just look at the state of the other teams. The big one, Manchester City losing Pep. If you're Arteta, if you're this group of players now, you say next season it's ours again.
Yeah.
Why not?
I'm just wondering how the City players will react to losing Pep.
Maresca, though, Ali, you don't know. Is he?
Oh, I know.
Is he a bit more intense than Pep in a different way? Like what's
only
his...
time will tell,
yeah,
mate.
Exactly.
So, after 22 years of waiting, Arsenal are finally Premier League championships. Manchester City's draw at Bournemouth sealed it. The celebrations have kicked off, and the Romford Pelly himself, Invincible Ray Parlour, has been reacting on Instagram. Let's have a wee look.
Okay, the scenes at the Emirates, the Asahi, what can I say? The pitch of it was unbelievable, but this is much better now. But we still drink Asahi. Look, we celebrate with Asahi now. We won the league. But look at the scenes, fans everywhere, man. Emirates. Come on, the Arsenal!
Well, Barney didn't have an awful lot to say, but I'm hoping the next man has. I'm delighted to say former Arsenal NFL expert Adrian Clarke is joining us this morning. Clarkey, How are you?
Good morning, Adrian.
Good morning. Yeah, I'm top of the world. Ecstatic. Absolutely buzzing. Just so happy. It's look, it's been a while. It's been a long time since Arsenal got to this point, since we could call ourselves champions. But I think we deserve it. I think we have been the best team this season, and I was really chuffed for the fans last night, particularly the younger ones, because they haven't experienced it. A whole generation hasn't seen Arsenal win the league, so I'm so happy.
Well, I think the bottom line is, Clarke, you do deserve it, because I think the best team inevitably wins the title. We can discuss the merits and the pros and cons of how it was won, some of the performances, but mate, I think that's for another day. I think the lads should just go out and celebrate it. The fans certainly should celebrate it. I mean, and obviously City had a couple of tough games, Everton and Bournemouth. They were always going to be tough games, but Arsenal have taken the title, and genuinely pleased for Mikel Arteta.
Oh, yeah, big time. This is his title success, isn't it? Because this entire team is his team. I think he's, if and when Pep goes, he will now be the longest serving manager across the league. So all of the leagues, which is just nuts, isn't it? But brick by brick he's built it. And look, what I would say is that when he took over, Arsenal were not playing almost the same sport as Manchester City, as Liverpool. They were absolutely miles away in terms of quality. Could only dream of being in the Champions League, let alone the final. So where he's taken Arsenal from and to is quite astonishing. And yeah, I'm so pleased for him, because he's taken a lot of flack along the way. Obviously, he said at the outset, trust the process. He got a lot of flack for that, but really, the players did trust that process, and look where they are now. So exciting times. And look, for those that say it's been a poor season, no one's really at it. What I would say to counter that is that it's never been easier to lose a Premier League game. Teams right down the league now are more than capable of beating any team. You can slip up, every week, because the depth of quality is much higher now. So I think the boys deserve all the praise they get.
Adrian, we know it's time to celebrate, of course, for Arsenal now, and you're not looking at next season yet. But I was saying to Ali earlier in the show that, look at Manchester City, Pep Guardiola leaving. How will Maresca go? We've seen what happened with Sir Alex Ferguson after he left. Obviously, Pep's leaving a lot better squad for Maresca. Look at Liverpool, their problems. Mo Salah leaving, Robertson leaving. They might not be the Liverpool of old next season as well. So it could be Arsenal's time to really win more Premier Leagues in this era.
It could be, yeah. Look, I personally hope so. Look, the team is still young enough. There aren't that many old guys, in the lineup. A lot of the players are probably in their mid to late 20s or mid 20s. So you'd think that if this team sticks together, and I think they will absolutely stick together now, they could go on to achieve more. But let's see, it's never easy. It's never ever a walk in the park. Arsenal, Liverpool fans, this time last year, people would have been saying the same about them, especially after the transfer window. So nothing's a given, is it, in the Premier League? But I'm proud of this Arsenal team, and what gives me optimism that Arsenal can kick on is that I don't think they're the finished article yet. I think without the ball and defensively, maybe the best team in the world at the moment. Absolutely phenomenal. The desire to keep clean sheets and to sort of stop people playing is first class. There's lots of progress that can be made in terms of what Arsenal do with the ball, how they attack, how they score goals, how many goals they score. So the next phase is going to be turning Arsenal's forward line into a world-class unit. And I think that, that will be the aim now for Arteta next season and for the next couple of years.
Clarke, let me tell you something, mate. You mentioned they obviously won the title this year, and Arsenal get the potential to kick on, right? I think they've got the potential to have an absolutely unforgettable season, never mind kick on in years to come. They've got an opportunity again, and they'll be second favourites, of course they will. Everybody, a lot of people, myself included, fancy PSG because they look the best team, if not in the world at this moment in time. But against that defence that you've mentioned, they're not without a chance.
God, too right. Yeah, look, this, especially now that Arsenal have wrapped the league up with a game to spare, they can now rest a few maybe at the weekend. That stress and strain has gone, and they can really prepare properly for this game and get the right players fit and available for it. PSG would not have wanted to play Arsenal. They'd have much preferred Atletico Madrid. They will be favourites.
Yep.
They are unreal, particularly going forward, as we know. But if anyone can stop them, then it might just be this defence. This defensive unit is the best around. I think that's accepted now. And Arsenal can't make it a thrilling final, in my opinion. They can't make it a gung-ho attack fest. It won't be like PSG Bayern.
No.
If it's that sort of game, I think we all know the outcome.
Oh, yeah, you don't want that.
Arsenal can...
They've not done that all season, have they, Arsenal?
No, exactly. Well, look, we did all right against Villa. I think we smashed you lot 4-1.
Which...
Touche!
Was that the game at Villa Park or the Emirates?
Clarke, while I've got you, mate, I'm running out of time, but I need to move on to Spygate.
Yeah.
I mean, what a carry on. I know Southampton have put an appeal in, but what do you think initially about the punishment? Do you think it was harsh, fair, or what's your take on it?
I think it was the only option. I genuinely do. And I know that lots of people might not agree with that. But, we live in a world where you can get thrown out of a competition for a clerical error, for fielding an ineligible player. Happened to Swindon Town in the EFL Trophy this season. An office mistake. You get kicked out of competitions. This, for me, is significantly worse. And for the people that say it's disproportionate, the sporting advantage to the punishment, I would say, well, how do you know? What advantage they got in these 3 games, but also, come on, I mean, there's a big gap between a lot of these games. They've omitted those 3. Are there more in between? Is it convenient that these 3 games that have been mentioned, they didn't win any of them? So for me, they had to be thrown out. It's really harsh on the players. I feel gutted for the players. But if the fans 100%. And the players want to be angry at anyone, boys, be angry at the club. Be angry at the manager, who it feels like has sanctioned this, because they are the ones that have put the team and the club in this predicament. They cheated. They got found out. And for me, the only punishment the EFL could dish out to stop others following in the years to come was to kick them out of the playoffs. Yes. So, I think well played, the EFL.
OK, Clarke, am I seeing you in Budapest, mate?
At the moment, no. But I'll be working on the game from Emirates, which I'm devastated about. But I'm hoping that situation changes, Ali.
I'll be in the PSG end. Adrian.
Clarke, you make sure you enjoy it, pal. Good to talk to you. Thanks for coming on this morning.
Love it.
Cheers, mate.
Boys.